My name is Muhammad Amaruddin Fitri bin Muhammad Amin.
Hi, my name is Nur Nadia binti Muhammad Zulkifli.
My name is Anis Nasuha binti Rahazan.
And hi everyone, my name is Novarisha Akama binti Mazdan.
We will present the
Coronavirus
In United States. Stay tuned.
Now, let's take a look at the ABC News about the first case of COVID-19 in the United States.
Now to growing concerns about the deadly coronavirus officially hitting the U.S. Here's what we know. A Washington state resident fell ill after returning from Wuhan, China, where the outbreak began. Officials now say more than 400 people have been sickened and 9 people have died. The World Health Organization is holding an emergency meeting right now. Kana Whitworth is in Seattle, has the latest for us. Good morning, Kana.
Hey, Robin, good morning. So that patient is a man in his 30s. He is in the hospital here behind me. Now, officials are describing his condition as satisfactory, but he will remain in isolation for at least the next couple of days. They will continue to monitor him as well as the healthcare providers and patients he came into contact with after testing positive for the coronavirus. The first case of the deadly Chinese coronavirus making its way to the U.S. A Washington state man testing positive for the deadly virus. According to the CDC, the man in his 30s flew home to Seattle last Wednesday, infected but not yet symptomatic. According to officials, shortly after arriving in Seattle, he began feeling ill and reached out to his healthcare provider on Sunday. 24 hours later, his diagnosis was confirmed by the CDC.
Let's talk about the introduction of the coronavirus SARS-CoV-2, or also known as COVID-19, by Anis Nasuha.
On 11 February 2020, the WHO announced an official name for the disease that is causing the 2019 novel coronavirus outbreak. The new name of this disease is Coronavirus Disease 2019, or known as COVID-19. COVID-19 is caused by a new coronavirus first identified in Wuhan, China in December 2019. People with COVID-19 have a wide range of symptoms reported. These symptoms may appear about 2 to 14 days after exposure to the virus. The most common symptoms of COVID-19 are fever, cough, headache, shortness of breath, and loss of taste or smell. Older adults and people who have several underlying medical conditions like heart or lung disease or diabetes seem to be at higher risk for developing more serious complications from COVID-19 illness. COVID-19 is mainly spread through close contact from person to person, including between people who are physically near to each other. People who are infected but do not show symptoms can also spread the virus to others. COVID-19 cases and deaths are rising across the United States. The first case of COVID-19 infection that confirmed in the US is on 20 January 2020. A 35-year-old man presented to an urgent care clinic in Washington with a 4-day history of cough and subjective fever. According to WHO, about 18 million confirmed cases and more than 300,000 deaths in the US.
So now, let's take a look how the testing will be conducted. Nadia will explain to you how.
Specimen collection. During Harcourt research, he stated that a clinical specimen was collected from a SARS-CoV-2 virus-infected patient during his travel to China and identified in Washington. Nasopharyngeal and oropharyngeal specimen was also being collected using synthetic fiber swab. The serum then collected in a serum separator tube and centrifuge. The urine and stool specimens was being collected in a sterile specimens containers. Before the specimens be ready to ship to the CDC, the specimen will be stored in between 2 degrees Celsius and 8 degrees Celsius. These steps will be repeated for the same patients on his illness days 7, 11, and 12. CDC are recommending to collect one of these specimens, which are: first, nasopharyngeal swab specimen, nasal swab specimen from both arterial nares, nasal mid-turbinate swab, oropharyngeal swab specimens or saliva specimens. How to diagnose COVID-19 virus? First, we will be using real-time PCR. RT-PCR is the most widely used method to detecting COVID virus. RT-PCR machines will circle through temperatures that heat and cool the mixture for triggering certain chemical reactions. After that, it will create new identical copies of target sections of the viral DNA. The process will be repeated again and again. The marker labels attach to DNA strand and release a fluorescent dye. The virus will be detected when a certain level of fluorescent dye is outshined than the other fluorescents. How it will be done? The sample collected from patients will be treated with several chemical solutions. These solutions will remove fats and proteins and will be extracting RNA from the samples. From that, RNA will transcribe to DNA using specific enzyme. Additional short fragments of DNA that are matched to specific of transcribed DNA was added into the transcribed RNA. If the virus is present in a collected sample, these fragments will attach themselves to target section of the viral DNA. The second way to detect COVID-19 virus is using antigen test. Antigen test will detect one or more specified proteins in viral particles. It is a highly specified test but less sensitive than molecular tests. To extract target molecules, the nasopharyngeal swab will be collected and inserted into a tube with special liquid. The liquid is then distributed onto a test cartridge. After about 15 minutes, the result will be appear whether it's negative or positive. For clinical diagnosis, unlike other diseases, COVID-19 have no clinical diagnosis that can confirm the disease. However, some features such as having high temperatures and cough badly can be one of the signs of infection. Having dyspnea for several days after starting of initial symptoms can also be a sign of infection. But these symptoms are not official as the infections without microbiology testing.
So now, let's get deeper about this disease. Farisha will discuss about this further.
For a case definition for this COVID-19, first under clinical criteria, patient at least presenting at least these two symptoms, which is fever, headache, sore throat, congestion or runny nose, or at least one of these symptoms, which is cough, shortness of breath, and difficulty in breathing. So next, for laboratory criteria, laboratory evidence using a method approved or authorized by the FDA designated authority. It is then separate or divided to three laboratory evidence. First one is confirmatory laboratory evidence, second is presumptive, and third one is supportive. For confirmatory laboratory evidence, detection of severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2-ribonucleic acid, or known as SARS-CoV-2 RNA, in a clinical or autopsy specimen using a molecular amplification test. And for presumptive laboratory evidence, detection of SARS-CoV-2 by antigen test in a respiratory system. And for supportive laboratory evidence, detection of specific antibody in serum, plasma or whole blood, and or detection of specific antigen by immunocytochemistry in autopsy specimen. Epidemiologic linkage. One or more of these following exposure in the prior 40 days. First is close contact with a confirmed or probable case of COVID-19 disease. Second is a member of risk cohort as defined by public health authorized during an outbreak. Generally, close contact is defined as being within 6 feet within 15 minutes duration. However, it depends on the exposure level and setting. For example, in the setting of an aerosol generating procedure, healthcare setting without proper personal equipment or PPE, this may be defined as any duration. Dates are insufficient to precisely define the duration of exposure that constitute prolonged exposure and thus a close contact. So, what is a criteria to distinguish a new case from an existing case? Okay, a repeat positive test of for SARS-CoV-2 RNA using a molecular amplification detection test within 3 months of the initial report should not be enumerated as a new case for surveillance purpose. To date, there has been minimal evidence of reinfection among persons with a prior confirmed COVID-19 infection, and growing evidence that repeat positive RNA tests do not correlate with active infection when viral culture is performed. Similarly, the experience with the other coronavirus is that reinfection is rare within the first year.
In conclusion, the virus is deadly and spreadable and is vulnerable to everyone, especially the elderly and people with severe and pre-existing diseases like diabetes, heart attack, and etc. We must take precaution about this pandemic, and it is important for us to wear our mask, and always sanitize our hand with hand sanitizers. And don't forget to stay 1 meter or 6 feet apart from each other to avoid the spread of this deadly virus. These 3 things is the essential message from the WHO, as it is the best precaution method before the vaccine are available to everyone. So thank you all for watching this video, and hope you can like and share to your friends and your family and spread the awareness of COVID-19 to your society. Thank you again and goodbye. May Allah protect us all from this disease. Bye.